next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, Atlanta Falcons 5-9, 1-6 on the road. Baltimore Ravens 9-5, 4-2 at home. M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland, 25 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 13 miles per hour is the wind. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have, of course, Pinnacle not opening it because there's a chance and a possibility, a very real possibility, that Lamar Jackson will be under center for the Ravens. Bet Online's not scared. They opened it up at -6.5, and it's now at -7.5. So we've had full point move towards the Ravens over at Bet Online. From a total situation over at Bet Online, opened up at 41 and has dropped to 37. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have down there 3,447 tickets in. 52% of the tickets are on Baltimore and 84% of the cash. That all makes sense to me. 56% of the tickets are on the over. Falcons coming off a 21-18 loss at New Orleans in Desmond Ridder's NFL debut. Ridder was 13-26 for 97 yards. No touchdowns, no picks, ran 6 for 38. Drake London was his number one target, caught 7 for 70. The rest of the team combined for 6 catches for 27 yards. It wasn't a bad first start for Desmond Ridder, and he showed some potential, and he got better as the game went on. Tyler Algier ran 14 times for 139 yards and touchdown. Cordero 14 for 52 and a touchdown. Falcons went for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns and 39 carries on the ground. It was impressive. They finished with 320 total yards, 9 of 16 on third down. That's where he looked good, was on third down. Defensively, the Falcons tightened up. Were much better after allowing the Saints to score on their opening 2 drives. They finished with 2 sacks and 3 quarterback hits, and Caleb Huntley injured his Achilles and require surgery. He's done for the year. Ravens coming off a disappointing 13-3 loss at Cleveland. Another situation where the market got me off a losing bet. I'm not flipping because of the market, but I wanted the Ravens, but I wasn't going to do it if the Sharks were on the Browns. Baltimore had won 6-7, but the loss knocked the Ravens out of first place in the AFC North, dropping them a game back to Cincinnati. Something I'll be very much cheering for, knowing that Andy will have a nice score if the Bengals take care of business in the division. Huntley and the Ravens offense did not look good. 324 total yards, 126 through the air, 0 points on 2 red zone trips. Huntley was 17 of 30 for 138 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Mark Andrews led receivers with 3 catches for 31 yards. J.K. Dobbins looked great. 13 carries, 125 yards. Gus ran 55 yards on 7 carries. So they are encouraged by Jackson's progress. They hope he'll return to practice tomorrow and he'll play on Saturday. That's the story. The defense kept them in the game, recording 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, held the Browns to just 283 total yards. Now there's problems. Calais Campbell left the game with a knee injury. He's not going to play on Saturday. They're calling it he's a long shot to play on Saturday. He's not going to play. He's going to miss some time. Cornerback Marcus Peters suffered a mild calf strain, and it's worse than they thought. He's going to miss time, and they said the timetable is unclear, but it seems he will return ahead of the postseason, barring any setbacks. So you take out the Pro Bowl cornerback Marcus Peters, you take out this boss on the front 7 and Calais Campbell, who's also blocked 8 kicks, and they love him. And you have a much weaker defense for the Baltimore Ravens. But I don't know who in the right mind would really want Desmond Ridder in game 2 on the road in 25 Fahrenheit. Take it away for us, Andy. Falcons, Ravens.
Yeah, boy, everybody in the chat is kind of saying, don't fucking bet this game. Like, somebody said, go buy scratchers. Like, I'm skeptical as shit about him it's Tuesday, he didn't practice, and we're gonna hope he practices on Wednesday and he's gonna play on a short week like this. And Sky Dragon is saying I like the over. I'd like the over if it's all true. Lamar just needed one more day and he's gonna come back and he's gonna play. I don't hate it, but I think truthfully, like if it ends up being T Hunt, maybe the action should be on this under, because this Atlanta Falcons offense is not good. Like that was kind of a piss poor showing last week. They're missing players. They've gone to the rookie. It's not something that's been super effective now. Even their good running game isn't enough to move them down the field into scoring position enough. So I really struggle to take a Falcons bet even against a backup quarterback. And truthfully, like it's Tuesday, so I'm gambling on this Lamar news being right. So And that's how bad the Falcons offense is right now. Like, even with the backup, this isn't going to flip to the Falcons. Like, this is probably this number. This number to me feels like a like a 75-25 Lamar plays kind of number. It's not one of those midway numbers. Whereas if he's ruled out, we'll cross 7. We'll go back down. We'll end up at like a 4.5. But if Lamar is actually practicing tomorrow, maybe you see some more Baltimore money come in, since it is a completely different team with him in. They don't have the wide receivers to allow. It's like you can't do the Brock Purdy thing. Like, oh, Brock Purdy's fine because they have a genius offensive mind and essentially like 5 guys who can be, the offensive player of the week any given week on that Niners team. You can't just plug a backup quarterback into the Baltimore Ravens offense and expect it to be anything. So it's a big step back. We talk about what's a quarterback worth, and sometimes it depends on that situation. Where, like, if it were Lamar Jackson and Huntley in the Niners, team, or maybe with the Vikings where they have a bunch of good wide receivers, it's not as big of a step down because you have those playmakers around you. They don't have the wide receivers to make this work with a backup. So it's ugly. There might be a cute little Falcons 3-1 money line bet if we don't see Lamar practice tomorrow. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, but yeah, I don't know that it gets bet up too much with Lamar in. It's not like shooting to 10, but you might see some 8s, 8.5.
Yeah, the Lamar news, it's paramount. And the Falcons offense is sort of built to be okay in this type of a situation, cold against a good defense, because they can run the ball, and they have multiple weapons to do that with. In saying that, I don't think Ridder is. I think it's going to be a very tough test for Desmond Ridder, game 2 of his career, and when the Ravens need to keep winning. So let's wait and find out the Lamar Jackson news at this point, and move on to the next game.